Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Penny and this is Penny's Small Spaces. So before we get started with today's video, I have something really cool to share with you. It's an unboxing of a gift that I received from one of my subscribers. Now, Fatima is not only a subscriber of my channel, but she's also a content creator here on YouTube as well in the miniature community. Now, I knew Fatima was sending me something because she asked for my address, but I was completely unprepared for what was in that package when it arrived. So this is the actual unboxing and my genuine reaction to everything that was in the box. And you'll notice that I'm talking to somebody that's actually my husband, who was equally as curious as I was to see what had been sent. Now, in my excitement, I didn't do a great job on some of those pieces of holding them up to the camera. So for those pieces, I've added just a little bit of a clip that I took afterwards so that you can see the full detail of what Fatima created. So let's have a look. OMG, look at all this stuff. Holy smokes. It is. Look at that.
Yep.
Holy cow. Ah, look at that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this is so amazing. All these little things that I was going to make.
If you hadn't got there yet.
No, not even a little bit. Look, it even opens. How cool is that? Oh! For the door! Oh my gosh. Look at that. That's like the most iconic piece that's in that apartment is that little frame that sits around. Oh my god.
And
That is
like,
fantastic.
what is in that door? Was that
It's
the peephole?
That's the peephole. Yeah. Yeah. But it Jeez Louise. This was going to be like the crowning glory, right? And I'm already nervous because I thought, how am I going to make that little thing? And look at that. That is fantastic. No. Oh,
Oh, the mask.
the masks.
Where's the masks?
The masks are.
Oh, right here.
Yep. Look at those. My goodness. Those are fantastic.
That's a pretty good sized box of stuff.
Oh, there's the plants for on top of the fridge.
Yep. That would be those three.
Oh my gosh. Even all the right colors. Holy cow. That is fabulous. I am just like gobsmacked here.
Made your whole month.
A little mirror. Holy cow. That's unbelievable. Is this the... Ah!
I was gonna say it.
That's awesome.
This one right here.
Yeah. That is amazing. Oh, it's the picture. So this side above the TV, it's like, again, with with the frame that on the door and that picture. That's I'm so impressed.
Very well done.
Oh, the radiator. Ah, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh, and there's the pots. Oh my goodness. Look at those. These are fantastic. Extras in case you prefer slightly different sizes. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, a little Amazon box. She said I've sent you an Amazon box. I thought, is there another box coming? Open me. Okay. I'm gonna open you. Oh my goodness. Christmas gift bags. An advent calendar. Toblerone bar. Cookie tin. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Shoebox. I'm assuming empty. These are amazing. Look at those. Wasn't that fun? Oh my gosh. Thank you again, Fatima, for all those incredible gifts. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love every single piece that you've sent and how much I appreciate all the hard work that you put into putting them together. So thank you so very much. Not only is Fatima a content creator here on YouTube, but she also organizes the Vancouver Dollhouse Miniature Show. And I want to tell you a little bit about that. So I've written it all down so I don't forget any details. So the show runs on May 25th, 2025 from 10 a.m. until 3:30 in the afternoon. The cost is $5 per person. Kids under the age of 15 are free. For the first 300 ticket buyers, there's some mini projects in a gift bag for you. There's also door prizes every hour throughout the show. So if you live in the Vancouver area or you're going to be visiting that area around that time, I highly recommend that you check it out. I'm also going to put a link to the website for the show in the description box below so that you have all of the information, including the address. Having said all that, let's get to today's video. I'm going to start by making the kitchen table. So the first thing that I did was I cut out a template out of this piece of cardstock, and I'll use that template and transfer that circle onto a piece of craft plywood. I want the tabletop to be twice as thick as the wood that I'm using, so I'm going to cut out 2 pieces from this template. Once I had them cut out, I just applied a layer of glue onto one piece and stuck them together. I'm going to clamp them down so that they don't warp while they're drying. The top of the table had what looked like a parquet hardwood type of finish on it. And so it didn't take me very long on Google Images to find a like image of that hardwood pattern. I scaled the image down to the right size and then duplicated that 3 more times so that I had 4 pieces. Then it was a simple matter of gluing that image onto the top of the table. Once the glue had set, I simply turned it upside down and I cut away all of the excess. The legs for this table were a pedestal design. So much like the table that I made in the Homestead series, I had to first build a base for the center and then add the legs onto that. To get the design right, I started with a slightly wider piece of wood and then added 2 narrower pieces to the middle of each side. This is the look that I was after. Once the glue on the pedestal had dried, it was time to add the 4 legs. Now, to be perfectly honest, this took me way longer than it should have. And that was my own fault, and simply because I was just way too impatient. I wasn't giving the glue enough time to dry for each of the legs before I tried to put on the second leg. And then by the time I get the second leg on, the first leg had fallen off. And so it was just this vicious circle for a good 20 minutes. Eventually I did figure it out, and I was giving each of those legs a good 20 minutes to 30 minutes to dry before I moved on to the next one. To keep those legs up off of the floor, I've taken from a round toothpick 4 slices that are about 1 millimeter thick, and I'm going to add those to the bottom of the legs. I added a coat of podge onto the top of the table, and that did 2 things. One, it protects the paper, and second of all, it actually darkens up and makes that wood pattern look just a little bit richer. Here you can actually see the difference in the color. I'm painting the rest of the table with some watered down brown acrylic paint. Now, if you're a fan of the show, you already know that none of the kitchen chairs in Monica and Rachel's apartment actually matched, and different chairs came and went throughout the seasons. For the 3 wooden chairs that I'm going to make, I've decided to use the same design for the chair legs themselves. This design allows for the backrest of the chair to lean back just a little bit. And if you're interested in what that design looks like, I will leave a link in the description on how I made those chair legs. Just remember that the link will be in 1/12 scale, while these are in 1/24 scale, so you will have to cut each measurement in half. So starting with my seat base, and I just took the measurements of my own kitchen chair and then calculated it down to 1/24 scale. I cut out little notches on the corner of these bases so that the legs of the chair would inset into that little space. Then I attached the second leg. Then I propped that whole piece up onto these 1, 2, 3 blocks and gave the glue a chance to dry completely. Once the glue was dry, I went in and I added my 2 front legs. I also added supports in between the legs just to make them a little bit stronger. I've cut up a couple of pieces from a coffee stir stick, and I'm going to use those to build the backrest. I kept the designs very simple, but as you can see, each of the chair backs is different from the rest. I also changed up the front legs on some of them. I did this more sculpted design on this one. This one's front legs are square, and the other one is a round dowel. So I thought that the chairs all together were a pretty good representation of what was in Monica and Rachel's apartment. I'm also going to paint each chair a different color. For the 4th chair, I wanted to do something completely different. So I'm still using a wooden base, and then I also have a round oval piece of wood for the backrest. But for the legs and the main structure of the backrest, I'm going to be using wire instead. I started by drawing the design on a piece of graph paper, and then I used that graph paper to bend the wire to the shape that I wanted. I also used a small stencil to get the shape of the back. And the first thing that I'm going to do is glue that piece into the back of the frame. Now, wood glue does not adhere well to metal, which is of course what the wire is made out of. So I had to bring in the big guns with my Ultimate Eileen's glue, which is super stinky, but and then I'm going to glue that whole piece onto the bottom of the seat base. Make sure you leave enough room on the outside of those two wires so that you have room to glue on your legs. You'll probably have to prop those legs up while they dry because this glue doesn't set near as fast as wood glue. Now that I've had a chance to paint everything, here's what the 4 chairs will look like. Now there were definitely cushions on the chairs in the apartment, but those will have to wait for another day. Next, I want to make the lamp that hung over the kitchen sink. I found this wicker pattern on Google Images and I printed it out on some cardstock. And from that, I cut out this semicircle, which will become the shade for the light. Here's the shape that I'm after, so I just need to put a little bit of glue where it overlaps to hold it together. Since this is going to be a functioning light, I've left enough room at the top to feed my wires through. I don't want to be able to see the wires when I'm done, so I have this very small straw that I'm going to feed the wires through first. Then to keep the straw from moving, I'm just adding a little bit of glue down close to the base of the light so that the straw will stick to it. Now I can feed the end of those wires up into the lampshade. I want to slide the wires and that straw through that top hole in the shade. Then I'm going to add a little bit more glue down at the base of the straw so that when I pull it all the way up to the top, it sticks to the shade. I very gently went over the straw itself with some very fine sandpaper, just so that the paint has something to adhere to. And now here's the final look. Now because the apartment doesn't have a roof on it, I did have to make a small change so that that light had someplace to hang from. So I just used a piece of craft plywood, cut it to the shape that I wanted, and then I just drilled a hole where that light would have hung from and fed the wires up through. It did take a little bit of fiddling, but once I pushed the very top of the straw up into the hole, the light itself hung nice and straight. I will eventually add a battery pack for that light, but I'm going to hold off on that for now, just in case I decide to light up some other lamps in the apartment, and then I can figure out from there where the best place is to put that battery pack. And now the best part of this video was adding all these great accessories that Fatima sent me. We have our peephole picture frame, of course. I've hung up the pots and pans. I even made some little dishes to hang on the wall because there was quite a bit of that in the kitchen. We have our cookie time cookie jar, and I even made the homemade pickle pot for the utensils to sit in. I also made a little paper towel holder, and of course the fridge would not be complete without fridge magnets and notes. And we can't forget the herb pots up on top of the fridge. Over on that blue shelf, I filled the shelves with some books and some boxes, and then on top of the shelf added this little teapot that I made, as well, of course, as the cat vase that Fatima sent me. I know that there's lots more than I can put in the kitchen, and I'll probably add some things from time to time, but going forward, I'm going to concentrate more now in the living room and on that platform in front of the window. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you again, Fatima, for all these incredible friends gifts. You have no idea how much I appreciate them. And again, if you're in the Vancouver area, please consider checking out the Vancouver Miniature Show. Until next time, bye for now.